Hello, folks. Welcome to my channel, Rico's Paradigm. My topic for today is how expats can stay safe from scams in the Philippines. Because of its tropical climate, low cost of living, amiable residents, and English proficiency, the Philippines is becoming a more and more popular destination for expats. Like any other nation, though, it has a share of scams, especially those that prey on expats who might be thought of as wealthy or who are not familiar with local customs. It takes awareness, planning, and the capacity to spot warning signs to avoid scams. This vlog would offer helpful tips to help expats stay safe from scams in the Philippines. In the Philippines, scams that target expats and visitors come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Relationship fraud, credit card fraud, and taxi fraud are a few of the most prevalent scams. It is essential for expats to comprehend these prevalent scams in order to identify possible dangers and prevent falling victim. Relationship fraud is a serious problem that primarily affects expats who use online platforms to find romance or companionship. Financial exploitation under false pretenses is a common tactic used by scammers to take advantage of emotional weaknesses. It is crucial for expats to approach online interactions cautiously because, in many cases, the relationship is superficial and centered more on financial gain than on a true connection. Another widespread problem is credit card fraud. Unauthorized transactions may result from scammers using electronic devices to steal credit card information. Expats should be cautious when making purchases and never give out their credit cards in order to avoid falling victim to this scam. Choosing ATMs in crowded locations and under surveillance can help reduce the chance of credit card fraud. Expats should take a few preventative steps to reduce their vulnerability to scams. An important first step is to stay up to date on typical scams in the Philippines. As they travel, expats can detect possible threats with the aid of prior research. Before departing, expats should educate themselves on the social and cultural background of the Philippines and learn about the common ways scams are carried out. Avoiding dangerous behaviors is also very important. For example, expats should avoid accepting food or beverages from strangers, especially when interacting with people in places they are unfamiliar with. This is crucial because some criminals may render victims unconscious with drugs before robbing them of their possessions. Additionally, especially in crowded areas, pickpocketing and physical theft can be prevented by securing personal belongings and paying attention to one's surroundings. Scams are also common in the transportation sector. When using taxis, expats should use caution because many drivers overcharge or neglect to use the meter. It is advised to use reliable ride sharing applications or reserve taxis through reliable businesses in order to reduce this risk. Pricing misunderstandings can be avoided by always asking the driver to use the meter or by settling on a fare in advance. To make sure they are getting into a genuine taxi, expats should think about confirming the car's information, including the license plate and the identity of the driver. Additionally, it is best to avoid getting into taxis with anyone other than the driver, as this could be dangerous. Passenger safety can be further improved by mentally noting the license plate of the car and communicating this information to someone. Another possible scam breeding ground is currency exchange. Expats should be cautious when exchanging money, especially in tourist areas where money changers might engage in dishonest practices like short-changing while offering suspiciously high rates. Since banks and ATMs typically offer more transparent exchange rates and are less vulnerable to scams, expats should use them whenever possible to avoid problems. To make sure there are no inconsistencies when exchanging money, it is crucial to count and confirm the bills you receive. In order to prevent being duped, expats should also be aware of out of date conversion rates and use calculators if necessary. Avoiding scams can also be greatly aided by building a solid support system. In order to exchange experiences and receive alerts about recent scams or suspicious activity in their area, expats should establish connections with local communities through social groups or expat networks. In addition to offering advice on how to live successfully in the Philippines, these networks may also alert users to scams that prey on expats. Additionally, expats should think about hiring local contacts or attorneys who are knowledgeable about the intricacies of living in the Philippines. When necessary, they can offer wise counsel on financial agreements and contracts. Expats should be aware of how to notify local authorities about fraud so they can learn the steps they need to take to safeguard their rights and get their money back. Having faith in one's intuition is one of the best ways to avoid scams. It's best to take a step back and reevaluate the situation if it seems uneasy or suspicious. Scammers frequently use fear or a sense of urgency to coerce their victims into making snap decisions. Clarity and the avoidance of possible losses can result from taking the time to consider an offer or circumstance. Making sure a conversation, whether friendly or business related, is in line with one's intuition and logic is essential to thwarting fraudulent schemes. Expats are required to notify local authorities, such as the Philippine National Police or the Anti Crime Group, if they become victims of a scam. Reporting scams aid law enforcement in combating crime trends that target expats in addition to helping expats recoup their losses. Having all pertinent information when reporting an incident, including the time, place, and scammer's descriptions, can greatly aid the authorities in their investigation. Securing the evidence required to file a report may be facilitated by recording conversations and transactions pertaining to the scam. Although a lot of Filipinos are actually friendly, some people use friendliness as a tactic to win people over before committing fraud. If someone is too eager to help or go with you, be courteous but wary. Don't give someone you have just met your financial or personal information. In order to get money, scammers may make up heartfelt stories. Follow your gut and consider the story's plausibility. Provide non monetary support by recommending a local charity or organization that might be able to assist. If you win a contest you didn't enter, you might be contacted to claim your prize, but there might be a fee involved. Disregard unsolicited calls or messages regarding raffles or contests. In the Philippines, real estate fraud is common, particularly in cities and popular tourist destinations. Use the land registration authority to confirm property titles. Consult with real estate brokers who hold licenses and verify their qualifications with the Professional Regulation Commission. Steer clear of under the table transactions and real estate sales that lack proper documentation. Some con artists pretend to be romantic partners in order to financially and emotionally take advantage of expats. People who express strong emotions quickly, whether you meet them online or in tourist areas, should be avoided. Never give someone you haven't met in person money or presents. Before moving forward in a relationship, use trustworthy dating sites and confirm their identity. High return schemes are frequently aimed at expats who are not familiar with local laws. Be wary of investments that seem too good to be true. Examine investment offers with a lawyer or financial advisor. To confirm a company's legitimacy, visit the Securities and Exchange Commission's website. Prices for goods, services, and transportation are frequently exorbitant in tourist areas. Do some advanced research on average prices for goods and services. To prevent being overcharged, use trustworthy platforms for transportation, such as Angas or Grab. For expensive purchases, go to reputable stores rather than street vendors. Use ATMs only in safe, well lit areas like banks or shopping centers. When you enter your PIN, cover the keypad. Keep an eye out for any unauthorized transactions on your bank statements. Only exchange money at reputable banks or establishments. Before you leave the counter, carefully count your money. Watch out for scams that use deceptive tactics or counterfeit currency. Scammers may pretend to be representatives or government officials and demand money for fictitious fines or permits. Verify the individual's authority with the appropriate authorities and request appropriate identification. Only use official channels to pay fees. Purchasing comprehensive travel insurance is one of the best ways to guard against monetary loss brought on by scams. Theft, fraud, and property loss are just a few of the situations that can be covered by travel insurance. By getting a sufficient amount of travel insurance, expats can lessen their losses in the event of unanticipated circumstances. Expats should thoroughly read their insurance policies before departing to comprehend the scope and limitations of their coverage. As they travel the Philippines, this can give them more peace of mind when handling commonplace circumstances and let them enjoy their experiences without needless worry about possible scams. As an expat, navigating the Philippines presents both opportunities and difficulties. Expats can improve their safety and well being and make valuable contributions to their communities by educating themselves about common scams and taking preventative steps to avoid becoming a victim of fraud. When scams are successfully avoided, experiencing local customs, building relationships, and taking in the Philippines' natural beauty can be incredibly fulfilling. In the end, expats can flourish in their adopted country while lowering the risk of scams by being watchful and cautious, following their guts, and making use of the resources available. All right, folks, that is all for today's show. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a good day.